Okay, so we have the full LF Metal Cooler abilities here. Before we get into that, let's do King Cold, what little information we have on King Cold here. Of course, during the data download tomorrow, we will get the characters' full kits and abilities. But we kind of get like a sneak peek here with the breakdown that they give us during the actual Legends information broadcast. He is blue, which is good. I think blue is a pretty, I would say it's pretty weak right now. Blue overall as a color. Lineage of Evil and Weapon Wielder is actually pretty interesting. Remember, he has the sword in his animation, so they did give him the Weapon Wielder tag. Do I think Weapon Wielder is ever poised to become like a main team? Not really, but the reason why it's important is because it does open up the path for this guy to get some more equipment on him, which is nice. Okay, so Z abilities, Lineage of Evil, Weapon Wielder, and Android Saga. So it is an Android Saga celebration. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let me see here. Increase the number of special move arts in your deck. He holds a blue card. Okay, he holds a blue card. We have only gotten a few characters ever who've held a blue card. The ones that come to mind, Red Hercule, Purple LF First Form Frieza, and then almost said AGL, the blue Goku Black. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think. Very rare. Very, very rare to hold a blue card. Now with, yeah, I mean, they explained it here. Your deck takes the whole party into account, so you'll have it even if you don't select King Cold as a battle member. Try using King Cold with characters who have powerful special move arts. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so power up allied characters. Wow, this is a very stingy slide here. Starter ability, ally damage 20%, ally special move damage 30%, all uncancelable. Okay, so he's sort of supporting with those abilities there. And then we have this. Yeah, they didn't really give us much here for King Cold, huh? Blue card on activation, special move damage 30%. Also destroys all special move arts. Then if at least one was destroyed, he gets 50% more blue card damage and a Dragon Ball? That's not limited to once, by the way. On hit, draws a special... he draws a green card on hit, and he destroys enemies' Dragon Balls. Probably not a super common thing to have happen where you have two blues in your hand, even though you have two blue cards in your deck. Probably not very likely, but it's cool that he has that. Special arts, draws a special move arts. Okay, so... Oh, I see. Huh. So you can just infinitely spawn greens and blues. You land the blue card, you spawn a green, which spawns a blue. And then you just spawn a green, and then spawn a blue, and then just keep like going back and forth. That is a way to get multiple blues in your hand. So let's say you have a blue card and a green card in your hand. You use the green card to draw a second blue card, then you can destroy the other blue card with the first blue card. Reduces enemies' vanishing gauge by 100% twice. Okay. That is a big boy ability. That is tag 17 and 18. That is Red Beast Gohan transforming. That is Ultra Vegito Blue entering the battlefield for the first time. That is a very strong mechanic. Proactively being able to reduce an enemy's vanish to 0 is incredibly strong. It's always been very strong. So I can do that twice. Seal enemy strike / special move arts for 3 counts. And that's all the information we have on King Cold. So we don't really get the majority of what he's doing, but he sounds interesting here. Holding a blue card, supporting, removing the enemy's vanish. Like, I'm thinking like, remove the enemy's vanish from King Cold, swap into full power Frieza Death Beam. Right? I mean, sounds pretty good to me. All right, Metal Cooler. Again, I did not look at anything this guy was able to do from the actual broadcast. I just saw his mechanics, or I just saw his animations. And it does seem like he has multiple ways of reviving. I'm not sure if they threw in the summon mechanic in here for the clones, but let's see. Use comeback multiple times and get stronger. Okay. Use comeback multiple times. Use comeback twice. Even if you're defeated, you can recover 100% health using comeback, not just once, but twice. You'll even get a permanent boost to damage guard each time, meaning you'll come back to the battle even stronger. There was a time where people were theorizing that they'd give us eventually a metal cooler that has multiple revives. This is the first time we are actually seeing something like this. I mean, it's not a revive because it technically doesn't have him transform, but I mean, it's essentially a revive because it gives you 2 second life. I mean, this is the first character with a 3rd life. This guy's got a 3rd life, and they're all uncancelable. You can't cancel comebacks as far as we know yet. A unique gauge with high defensive abilities you can take advantage of. The unique gauge is a sustained damage type. Okay, so that's the same type of unique gauge as like Kaioken Goku. That increases each time you take an enemy's arts attack. When it's full, you'll get a buff to damage guard and increase your opponent's arts costs. Okay. That does sound very much like Kaioken Goku, because Kaioken Goku also buffs his damage guard every time his gauge fills up. Third thing is special move arts. When the unique gauge is full, you'll nullify element disadvantages when it activates. When that happens, the gauge will be fully consumed, so build it up again to activate more defensive effects. Use the power metal cooler gained by merging with the Big Getty Star to unleash endless terror on your opponent. What's the line? I've been powered up by the Big Getty Star. How can this be? They made him purple. That's too good, man. That's too good. You guys were waiting for you guys are waiting for a good counter to full power Frieza, a nice purple, powerful, defensive menace character. Guess what? He's LOE. Oh my god, dude. I think I even said this when they first announced this campaign with this LOE campaign this month. I'm like, they're finally gonna give us like a super strong purple character, but it's just gonna be the same team as Frieza. That's too good. Regen, merging, Lineage of Evil, and powerful opponent, and then of course he's on movies. Yeah, Metal Cooler, one of the very strong things about Metal Cooler is he's just always been on a lot of strong teams. Wouldn't really consider Regen to be a super strong team, but it's like a legitimate tag. Lineage of Evil is a legitimate tag right now. Of course, powerful opponent's always going to be a big tag, and then movies. This guy's on like 4 legit teams. So pretty strong release here in terms of just his usability across a wide variety of different tags. All right, so 14-star Z ability is Lineage of Evil, powerful opponent, or movies. That's a wide variety of characters you can buff with this. Strike attack, blast defense, and then LOE gets more. Oh, sorry, it's double defense. Strike defense, blast defense, and then LOE gets strike attack. The one thing that might be a little bit concerning here is this guy is a strike character. Of course, the best character in the game, the best character on LOE by a country mile is Blast. But let me actually take a quick look here. I don't know, the stats for some reason on this aren't like very good. I don't know how to oh, here we go. I mean, you can see the huge difference. 249 to strike versus 272 to blast. So there is quite a difference between the two offenses here for full power Frieza. So this guy really is mostly just almost a strictly blast character. So it might be a little weird trying to run some strike characters with this character. Remember, we also do have the Zenkai for the red Final Form Cooler coming out later. I assume it's going to be next week. That will probably drop on the 20th. But, you know, at the same time, we have this character running next to Namekoku, who's also a melee type, and that's like the best character, the best duo in the game by far right now. So who knows? Maybe it'll work. But that is something to keep in mind here. Strike has blast armor, so charge in without fear of blasts. Also has a strike arts card that buffs damage inflicted when used in the low area. Okay, so that's similar to Kefla. Kefla has that blast card that heals 10% in the low area. It's kind of similar to this. Blast is normal. Special move. Okay. When the unique gauge is full, nullifies element disadvantages and penetrate damage guard. This is going to just continue to be a ridiculously powerful ability. As we get characters that have higher damage guard values, this will only get stronger. Damage guard penetration. Think about it. A character has, I don't know, 500% damage guard. If you're penetrating 30% of 500% damage guard, that's so much of the damage guard that you're bypassing by having that it's just far and away more valuable than just more damage. This, at this point, given how much damage guard these characters have at this point, damage guard penetration, I would say, in most cases, is just way more powerful and more valuable than just straight up damage. All right, so massive damage on activation, special move damage plus 30%. Also, when unique gauge is full, damage guard penetration 30%, and then he's type neutral 3 times. Okay, so if you're blue carding Namek Goku as an example, right, you'll be type neutral against him there with this blue card. On hit, enemy Dragon Balls -1 twice, and then heavy bleed. Yeah, this is... Dragon Ball Destruction's always good. This is actually one thing I really do like about Demon King Piccolo's blue card, believe it or not, is it does destroy a Dragon Ball, which is pretty useful. The green card... Yeah, it looks like it is a counter. We did see this in the preview. You can nullify your opponent's strike arts and more. When you do, you'll recover 100% of the vanishing gauge. Nullify certain attacks while in stance. On activation, draws 4 cards, 70 key. On nullification, he gets 10% health, 100% vanish twice. Seals enemy strikes, special, and special move arts. Cancels enemies' attribute upgrades, buff effects. Prevents all enemy special cover changes. That is the yellow Goku Black ability. He picks up the yellow Goku Black ability on this. This is... Okay, let's just see. Nullifiable attacks, melee tap actions, that's tackles, quick attacks, tap punches, strike arts, and then most forward charging special moves / special art. So any melee green cards, any melee blue cards. Not going to nullify ultimates, of course, but the opponent tackles you, use this, it's going to work. So let me just see this. So you're sealing strikes, greens, and blues here. Cancels enemies' attribute upgrades / buff effects. Prevent all special cover changes. I don't know how this to me sounds more like a defensive counter, which, you know, kind of makes sense. This is definitely not something like, you know, Blue Gogeta, the original yellow LF Blue Gogeta's green card counter, where you land that and then you immediately have like a kill on somebody. That is not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to get your vanish back, to heal up, to buy time by sealing their cards, by getting a full hand, by getting, like, that's the purpose of this, is more so as a defensive measure, more so than to guarantee a kill on somebody, because you're not locking them in. I assume what's going to happen most times is you use this counter on somebody, and either they just switch characters to somebody else, or they, you know, kind of just buy time. But 5 count seal on this is pretty effective, right? Because I assume what's going to happen is you're going to use this, and then you just tackle most of the time, because they're not going to be able to counter you because their strikes are going to be sealed. So this seems interesting. We'll see. The Vanish Restoration is nice on this. Ultimate penetrates 70% of your opponent's damage guard. We okay with this? Penetrate 70% of your opponent's damage guard. On hit, reduce your opponent's ki by 100. So they did not give him Supreme. They gave him Massive. On activation, ultimate damage plus 30%. This is pretty nuts. Damage guard penetration plus 70%. And then a minus 100 ki on hit with Blast Armor. All right, main ability. After your second comeback, you'll recover 100% of your Vanishing Gauge. Destroy 1 card, then draw Ultimate Arts next. So he's going to open up a slot in his hand to actually get the ultimate. Health plus 20%, ki plus 50, ally subcounts minus 5. Destroy entire enemy hand, and then after the second comeback, he gets his full Vanish back. Subcount down for allies is pretty good. Because you can use this, draw your ultimate, use the ultimate, and then immediately switch if you need to. This is also pretty good. This is something that Namek Goku has that I've definitely noticed to be pretty strong. Right. Okay. Starter ability, constantly nullify abnormal conditions. Damage plus 280%. Damage guard. Yeah, the damage guard is going to be very... I'm not surprised by this at all. Just being super low damage guard. 125%, but he's going to be... You know, he's building it up, and he's got 3 lives. Key recovery plus 50%. Draw speed plus 1, and then nullify abnormal conditions. Unique ability, recover 100% health using comeback up to 2 times. Get a permanent boost to damage guard after each comeback. So you can show off some impressive defensive abilities. Moreover, when hit by an enemy arts attack, you'll nullify the damage received element disadvantage and reduce the enemy's ki. This unique ability works great with the sustained damage type unique gauge. On strike / blast arts use, which is going to reset every time he switches. Draws a card, 30 key, unique gauge plus 20%. Okay, that's interesting. Twice. So he's got a defensive unique gauge, but you can actually build up the defensive unique gauge with using cards. That's interesting. That's imagine if Kaioken Goku built up his unique gauge by using cards. Nullify special cover changes 5 counts once. Drawing a card is pretty good. It's like a mini version of Kaioken. Like, this is almost exactly what Kaioken Goku looks like, but obviously this is pretty huge too. On strike / blast arts hit with full unique gauge, draws a blue card and gets 40 key. When on battlefield, an enemy uses Vanishing Step. 10% health, enemy draw speed -1. So he's got like the proactive, the rewarding you for being proactive kind of effect here. Healing plus lowering their draw speed. When hit by enemy arts, damage plus 20% for 20 counts. You know what this is? This is Kid Goku has this. I don't know. I don't think Kid Goku has it for 20 counts. That's a long time. Where is this? This. I mean, it's a little bit different. Kid Goku has 30% damage, but it's for 10 counts. I vastly prefer this, the Metal Cooler version. 20% for 20 counts. This is way better. Nullify damage received element disadvantage once, and then it resets, of course, and then enemy key -5. So every time he gets hit, he's lowering enemy key, getting damage, and he's going type. So every time he gets hit for the first time, he's going type neutral defensively. So Namek, obviously the reason why they did this is to not have this guy get just absolutely hammered and clobbered by Namek Goku's lock-in. We'll see how well this guy's able to take that. I don't think with his first life he'll be able to survive a lock-in by Namek Goku because he's got such a low damage guard initially, but we'll see. This is very, very good though, of course. When health is 30% or lower, an enemy attack ends. When health is 30% or lower, and enemy attack ends. Cancels attribute downgrades. Enemy key -30. Enemy key recovery -50%. It does sound a little situational, but keep in mind this takes into consideration things like tackles, tap attacks, tap blasts, quick attacks, you know, all those things matter here. So if somebody quick attacks you and then tackles and then they drop their combo, like they're 60 key down. But it's dependent upon your health being 30% or lower. That's hard to do. So that sounds pretty situational to me. When health reaches 0 twice, come back with 100% HP. If health reaches 0 due to enemy self-destruct, this character will be defeated. Yes, so against the Cyberman, I guess. Dude, the Nappa counter is going to be crazy against this guy. Draws up to 4 cards if hand has 3 or fewer. Key plus 100. Damage guard plus 30%, and then special move arts cost -5. So he's getting 30% permanent damage guard there, huh? So they didn't give him the summon mechanic. They just kind of tied the clones into him having 2 comebacks. It's pretty crazy. Okay. Special cover change against strikes, which sure. I mean, I don't know what King Cold is gonna have. I don't remember what it looks like he has, but we'd prefer if one character on LOE had a blast cover, because Full Power Frieza's got a strike cover. This guy's got a strike cover. I don't remember if King Cold. Can we just check what the kind of cover changes King Cold have? We should be able to tell from the animations here. Let's see. King Cold, what kind of cover change do you have? You have a strike? He's got a strike cover change. Okay, so if you're running King Cold, I'm assuming King Cold's going to be the best third LOE character. If you're running King Cold and Metal Cooler and this Full Power Frieza, you're going to have 3 characters who all have strike cover change, which not ideal, but it is what it is. Okay, unique gauge. This is going to be pretty important, I think. When the unique gauge is full, get defensive power-ups, such as a buff to damage guard and an increase to the enemy's arts costs. Your damage output will also increase, meaning consuming the unique gauge works great with the boosts it gives to your special move arts. Okay, so he starts with 40% charge. The first thing I want to check is how fast does this fill up? Actually, this is not a very good way to do this, because this guy gets a lot of charge rate on here. Hold on a second. When hit by enemy arts. When hit by enemy arts. So it sounds like it is basically Kaioken Goku's, but without the extra rate. Let me check Super Baby 2's. What does his look like? Super Baby 2's right here. What is the wording on yours? Greatly charges. Yeah, so it looks like it is going to be a little bit slower to charge, but the trade-off is Cooler is actually filling up his own gauge with this. All right, so when unique gauge becomes full, 15% health, 30 ki, 30% damage for 15 counts, damage guard 20%, sub counts on switch -2. And then cancel attribute downgrades, enemy strike / blasters cost plus 15. That is annoying. 15. And then in order to... Oh, wait, you consume it by using a blue. Hold on a second. So technically, what it sounds like, you could save this. If you fill up your unique gauge with Metal Cooler, you don't have to reset it with a blue card. Right? Because the only way you reset this is with a blue card. That's what it says right here. But you could choose intentionally to not reset the gauge to farm this. Now, this is only once per switch in. Right, only once per switch in. But every time you switch in with this character, you can just hold on to the full unique gauge to farm more ki and blue cards. If you wanted to. I don't think that's probably not the correct way to use this, but that's an option at least. Which is kind of interesting. But you have to use a blue to reset the gauge. I have no idea what this is looking like in terms of how effective this is going to be. I have no clue. He starts with 40% charge. He's going to fill up his gauge by 40% with 2 cards. And then he gets hit once and he fills up the whole thing, I guess. Lowering enemy ki, type neutral here. Then he's also got this too. This actually probably should... because, like, I'm picturing Kaioken Goku swaps in and starts, like, pummeling Metal Cooler. Kaioken Goku hits Metal Cooler twice, gets him to, like, 20% HP. Metal Cooler's gauge fills up, and this activates at the same time. So what's happening here is Metal Cooler is healing himself, getting more damage guard, increasing the Kaioken Goku's cost by 15, lowering his ki by... because it would be 35, because it would be this plus this. And he's lowering his ki recovery by 50%. That could be a pretty good disrupt effect. This is definitely a character that I'm going to want to see in action. I don't really know how I'm going to judge this guy on paper. It's impossible. 3 lives is insane. It is ridiculous. The only thing this guy is missing that is pretty glaring to me is sub count reduction. He does have a little bit of sub count reduction here, but it's only -2. Of course, Frieza, I don't know why I closed it. Frieza, for whatever reason, has a very broken ability. This just lowers ally sub counts by 10 when he gets targeted by a blue card ultimate or a rush. So it's not really going to be needed if you're swapped in with full power Frieza. But if you're using like King Cold, for example, I mean, maybe for all we know, King Cold could also have sub count reduction for the entire team when he gets hit by a big attack. But if King Cold does not have some kind of sub count reduction for allies against ultimates, blue cards, or rushes, then this could be a problem for Metal Cooler, because Metal Cooler is certainly the character you want to be swapping in against these big attacks to just use his comeback, right? But he doesn't have any sub count manipulation besides that one thing, right? Sub count. Let me just do a control F for sub count. Did I miss something here? He's lowering ally sub count on his main. Yeah, but this is the only sub count down he's got. -2 here. Honestly, they should. I don't know why this is non-stacking. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you get multiple instances of this gauge activating, this probably doesn't need to be non-stacking, but okay. So what is his damage guard looking like? So we have 125 initially. The first time he dies, he's getting 30, which is going to buff him up to 155. Then he's going to get another 30 to buff him up to 185. And then he's getting 20% every time his unique gauge fills up for 10 counts. So you can realistically get him to over 200% damage guard with his third life, but I'm a little concerned about his ability to take hits prior to him reviving, or I guess his comeback. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly he's got 3 lives for a reason, right? I mean, it's not going to be a character where you're going the entire match and you're not seeing him come back. Like, that's the whole point of the character. But we'll see. We'll see. Damage-wise, too, he doesn't really have a ton here. This is really going to be, I think, where a lot of his damage is coming from, but it's dependent upon the opponent hitting this guy, and he's getting damage from this as well. So it's really, like, he's getting, basically the majority of his non-starter ability damage just from him getting hit. So it really is just going to come down to him getting hit. So I think probably the way you want to do this guy's a defense type, right? He's got to be. Let me just make sure. Yeah, defense type. I think the way you want to build this guy is full defense. Probably, right? This guy's probably going to have access to some pretty good equips. I mean, again, he's on Lineage of Evil, Powerful Opponent, Regen, and Movies. He's got to have some insane equips. He's got to have some insane equips. So, yeah. I think you probably want to build this guy full defense. But again, this is definitely a character where I'm really not confident in my ability to judge how good he is. But 3 lives is not balanced. That's just straight up. Okay, 3 lives is not balanced. But there we go. That is what we know of Metal Cooler initially here. And the little bit of information they gave us on King Cold. Let me know what you guys think. Next video, I'm going to be talking about the supporter stuff coming in here, my thoughts on it, and how they're handling it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.